What's good, y'all? This your boy Blak G 92. Now, hopefully everybody had a good Christmas and holidays and everything else. So whether it's with your family, friends, or a loved one, let me know how it was, and hope everybody's grateful for the gifts. I know I was. And also looking forward to bringing in the new year in style. So before I do all that, I'm just gonna go ahead and do maybe 2 reaction videos for tonight if I'm in the mood for it. So this is gonna be the first one. I had a reaction video recorded a while back, but unfortunately I found out that I forgot to record the screen while I was reacting to the video, and the video in question was the visualizer for Dave Blunt's, what's it called? The cup song. Put down the cup, which the nigga definitely needs to put down that goddamn cup and a whole lot of other shit before, kills over. Like by the time he's 25, because being 23, being that fucking big, it's not a good look at all. And I could go into one of the people that came in the comment section I chimed in on, and I may have you know what? I'm saving for another video, probably for a random little commentary video. But anyway, I'm going to do a reaction to another video from the Critical Drinker titled Captain America for a Brave New Disaster. Now, as far as this fourth Captain America movie, I have my concerns because they keep on doing these reshoots and pushing it back, and then doing these reshoots. It's often a sign that the film might not be as good as may have been promised. So I might still give it a chance. But then again, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool versus Wolverine, I'm not really excited about none of these newer projects from the MCU as of late, because a lot of them, from what I've read online, turned out to be, and the clips I've watched turned out to be trash. So I was like, I'm not gonna sit through and pay money to see a movie that might be garbage, So then again, the movie hasn't came out yet, so let's just see. I'm just gonna probably wait till the film actually comes out to give my final opinion if I do feel like watching it. But like I said, based on the track record of MCU, with the exception of the ones I mentioned, I haven't seen Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, so I've heard some good things about that one. So I might check that one out on Disney Plus sometime soon. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing my own little MCU marathon that's starting from the very first phase on to this recent one. Revisit some of the ones I did watch during the height of the MCU's prominence as such. So I'm gonna save that for another video as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to this reaction video, see what the drinker has to say about this potential fiasco of a movie in about 3, 2, 1.
I still kind of remember when some genius in my hometown had the idea to open a gimmicky high-end cocktail bar way out from the city centre in one of the roughest areas in town. It was a decent enough place, I guess. The drinks were suitably sophisticated and some of the bar staff were surprisingly hot. The only problem is that it was so far away from anything else that nobody could be bothered going there, and the only people who lived close enough to use it weren't interested because it didn't serve pints of whatever cheap, mass-produced piss water they used to into oblivion every night. In the short time the place was actually open, it was changed into a restaurant, a coffee shop, and even a nightclub for 3 weeks.
Goddamn.
But guess what? None of it worked because nobody wanted to go there, and the place ended up shutting down within a year. The point I'm making here is that sometimes you just need to accept that your idea was wrong from the start, and no amount of reworking and rebranding is going to change that. Case in point, Captain America 4, or Captain America New World Order, or Captain America Brave New World as it's currently known. A movie that seems to have gone through a production process almost as tortuous as Marvel's aborted Blade movie.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
That's been plagued by poor audience.
I was so pissed when I found out they just freaking canceled the new Blade movie, because to be real, how hard is to make a film about a half human, half vampire kicking ass? It's not that hard to come up with. The idea is not that hard to come up with. They have the previous 3 Blade movies again, kind of borrow ideas from. It shouldn't have been that hard. But, Marvel don't know what the fuck they're doing now. So, that's what happened.
controversial name changes, ballooning budgets, endless delays and reshoots, and rumours of disastrous test screenings. And if the latest revelations are anything to go by, the nightmare is only just beginning for Disney Marvel. According to the leaker Daniel Richtman, the latest batch of test screenings resulted in such a tidal wave of negative feedback that Marvel have ordered yet another round of reshoots just 3 months before the film's due to release. And this is coming off the back of 3 months of reshoots from May to August this year, basically redoing half the movie, and another batch in November to try to fix the problems created by the previous batch. And all of this constant meddling and retooling has pushed the total budget to $375 million, or over $400 million if some sources are to be believed, meaning it's probably going to need to make at least $1 billion just to break even.
Yeah.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
And then there's the constantly changing lineup of characters and actors. Sabra from the comics was scheduled to be in the movie, but funnily enough, the prospect of an Israeli Special Forces operative fighting alongside Captain America didn't sit too well with a lot of people.
Really?
So the character was quietly renamed and redesigned to be like...
Boo! See, Marvel fucking up again. Fucking up again. Missed opportunity for a cool character. And, well... introduce us to original, non-white character as well. So, there you go. Marvel just flushing original characters down the toilet.
And actors. Sabra from the comics was scheduled
Yeah, she
to
looks
be in
cool
the
as
movie,
fuck.
But funnily enough, the prospect of an Israeli Special Forces operative fighting alongside Captain America didn't sit too well with a lot of people, so the character was quietly renamed and redesigned to be less triggering.
Boo.
First, Chris Evans was supposed to be reprising his role as Steve Rogers, but then he wasn't. Then Mark Ruffalo was supposed to come back as Hulk, until he wasn't.
Damn.
Then halfway through the first batch of reshoots, Giancarlo Esposito was cast as Seth Volker, the villainous leader of a secret society.
Okay.
Because really, why cast him as anything except the same basic character he's been playing since Breaking Bad? Jesus, what are you going to do
Good
next?
point.
Cast Charles Dance as a coldly menacing antagonist delivering overblown monologues
Yeah.
while glaring at his enemies? At first, the plot was supposed to revolve around the Celestial that's been poking out of the Pacific Ocean ever since the Eternals that nobody wants to talk about. But then Kevin Feige announced the movie was going to be grounded, gritty, and believable. Which I guess is why they put Red Hulk in the film, because nothing says grounded, gritty, and believable like a 10-foot tall invincible red monster that can destroy entire cities. The title of the film got changed. The political undertone.
Yeah, like that whole this sound like the producers and such, whoever directed the film, whoever was involved in the writing process, reshoots. Yeah, they clearly this contradicted themselves by adding Red Hulk into a gritty, realistic film, because obviously it doesn't scream realism or gritty at all. Oh boy.
Of New World Order were attracting a bit of controversy, so it was quietly changed to the less offensive Brave New Worlds. Honestly though, I don't see the problem. Yeah, it was a big deal back in the day, but I think enough time's passed that we can look back more honestly on Hulk Hogan's heel turn in WCW.
The New World
Order!
Add all of this bullshit together, and it feels like no matter how hard they try and how much money they throw at it, Marvel just can't seem to crack this movie. Truly, you can't polish a turd, and that's what Brave New World is shaping up to be. Which brings me back to the point I was making at the start of this video. Maybe the reason they can't make it work is because it was just a bad idea from the beginning. I mean, casting Sam Wilson as the new Captain America was a move that left most people scratching their heads in Endgame, because not only did it feel unearned, but it also ruined two perfectly good characters instead of one. Falcon was already a cool, well-developed and popular character in his own right, with his own unique history and identity. He didn't need to be handed someone else's leftovers like some kind of fucking charity case. Bucky Barnes was the far more logical choice to take up the shield, because not only was he Steve's oldest friend, and the two of them had risked their lives for each other several times over by that point, but he also came from the same time period as Steve. The two men grew up in the same environment and culture, so they embodied the same old-fashioned values of American patriotism and good fighting against evil. You know, the exact things you want in Captain America. Yeah, Bucky definitely got put through the mill as the Winter Soldier, but the fact he was able to come out the other side and ultimately redeem himself proves his strength of character and his desire to atone for the past. Giving him the Captain America title would have resulted in a more interesting, morally complex character still wrestling with a dark past that naturally lends itself to the kind of gritty, grounded espionage story that you wanted to tell with this movie, while also providing a bit of thematic continuity in a man whose background and core values are still broadly similar to the original Captain America. Instead, they crowbarred Sam Wilson into the role without really knowing how he'd fit into it or where they were going to take him as a character. But man, it sure does help with that ESG score, doesn't it? It didn't really help that his first major outing as Cap was the utterly insufferable shite of Falcon and the Winter Soldier that not only gave us Ginger Jesus and a central message that it's okay to blow up innocent civilians when you think you're entitled to free stuff, but one of the most cringy, patronising and nonsensical speeches ever committed to film. You've got to do.
Oh, Lord.
Not doing it. That deserves to be consigned to the incinerator of history, just like the rest of that show. It was tedious and insufferable.
Shit. Oh, boy. Good God did not play that whole speech, because that speech was just cringe as fuck. And he was all triggered when one of the reporters was calling the one villain is a terrorist, which she was. But stop calling him a terrorist. Stop calling him a terrorist. Like, that's what she did. Blew up a building and killed people. So the title fits. But I remember that whole speech on YouTube and such. And not to mention, and I might still sit through it just to see how bad it really is. But based on that clip alone and just how they want to paint the villain and the Captain America Winter Soldier as some misunderstood victim and all that shit in which she harmed people. And that's her whole end game with her plans. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't maybe not want to even give the show a chance, honestly. But I might still do so in the future.
In a lot of ways, it really was the epitome of the hubris and activism that was infecting Marvel at that point. A studio that was high on the smell of its own farts, that believed it was too big to fail after a decade of hits, that was convinced that it could do no wrong.
Well.
Oh, how times have changed. Deadpool and Wolverine aside, the MCU isn't the unstoppable juggernaut that it was a few years ago. Marvel can and have done wrong many times at this point, and audiences are getting increasingly tired of both superhero movies and the message. If I had to trace the root cause of Brave New World's production problems, I'd pin them on this shifting landscape in Hollywood and the wider culture. The winds of change have been blowing pretty hard this year, and Brave New World's increasingly desperate attempts to change course have only served to waste huge amounts of time and money. They've been on the back foot almost since day one, lumbered with a bad idea and constantly trying to catch up with a market that's shifting under their feet. And if I had to make a prediction, I would guess that the finished product is going to be a Frankenstein's monster of different themes, ideas, plot lines and characters from different stages of the project, all jammed together into a loud, convoluted mess that doesn't really accomplish much of anything. A film that's going to try to please everyone and end up satisfying no one. Lucasfilm already had their Dial of Destiny, and I think Marvel's about to get a taste of the very same medicine. Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
Go away now. Oh boy. Yeah, that was another insightful video from the Critical Drinker, and most of what we said is on point. Cause hey, like I say, you mentioned like Deadpool, Wolverine, like every other project for the most part, just been. I've mentioned No Way Home, of course. Like most of the other films and shows, kind of just belly flopped and didn't really sit well with their audiences and all that shit. And not to mention, it just threw me off. I saw the trailer for Captain America for a Brave New World. I was about to say disaster, but Brave New World. And it was odd to see Harrison Ford casted as General Ross when General Ross always had a mustache. You know what I mean? Harrison Ford does not look like General Ross. You know, they could find another old guy with a mustache, kind of come off as a military general type deal. Well, now in the movie, I think Ross is the president, I think. And not to mention they brought in a Hulk villain, which is the Red Hulk. It's like, okay, that's not really Captain America. And the Captain America villain, he's the Hulk's villain. So it doesn't make sense. It just looks like it's going to be a mess, you know? And how they've, and plus not to mention how they handled having Sam Wilson donning the mantle of Captain America. Yeah, it's been less than satisfying from what I've read, heard, and seen on different clips and such. Like, it's like they kind of just dropping the ball, not knowing what they're doing. When maybe And maybe it wasn't meant to. Maybe the idea was meant to fail in the first place. Who knows? But anyway, they turned Bucky into that unlockable boss character that's nowhere near as powerful as he was when you had to fight him. I think it's funny that no one's mentioning the fact that Bucky's also a super soldier like Cap. Falcon's just a dude. Good point. I mean, that's what makes Bucky a more likely candidate to be another Captain America, because he is also a super soldier as such, and like Sam Wilson didn't take the super soldier serum and none of that. So I wonder how this fight is going to turn out between him and Red Hulk. It should be displayed as a fight for his life, indeed, and have to at least have Red Hulk continue, like, pretty much continue on with the next follow-up films and such. You know what I mean? This kind of depart after a fight with Sam Wilson. Let's see how it turns out, though. Let's face it, the reviews for this movie is going to be better than actual. I bet. I can't wait to read the reviews, man. I guarantee it's going to be funny as fuck. But anyway, that was my 2 cents on this video and commentary on Captain America 4. And goddamn, I've seen quite a few people talking about it, saying it's doomed and all that shit. But like I said, I'm more so willing to, give certain things a chance, because, hey, we may never know. Maybe. Then again, we got to think about the track record, and just the idea may not have been something to invest money into in the first place. But hey, gotta wait till the movie comes out, see for ourselves. Anywho, if you want me to react to more of these little commentary videos or songs, music videos, interviews, or any mini documentaries you can think of, whatever it is you want, whether it's based on wrestling or true crime stories, let me know in the comment section below. And also hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to hit that like button. Also, be sure to follow me on my social media accounts. We post in the description box below. This your boy Blak G92, about to sign off. Holla at your boy. Peace.